think this is one. Y'all ready? All right.
This manager, I think he just went in, but everybody's in charge, so you're over
At 5:30, we'll call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Barker,
Present.
Vice Mayor Reese.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Tanner.
Yes.
Alderman Thomas.
Yes.
Very good, all present. We got minutes on deck from January 20, 2026. I get a motion to consider. Motion by Donna, second by Tamberlin. Any discussion? Very good. Roll call.
Mayor Barker,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Reese.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Tanner.
Yes.
Alderman Thomas.
Yes.
Very good. Got financials from January 16 to February 12. Do I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Motion by Donna, second by Jake. Any discussion, questions on P&L statement? All right, roll call.
Mayor Barker,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Reese.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Tanner.
Yes.
Alderman Thomas.
Yes.
Very good. Everybody votes to accept. So next on the agenda is public comments. This is a comment period, not a Q&A. Limit to 3 minutes. If you would, state your name and where you're from or where you reside. And so anybody have any public comments tonight? Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Eve Wilmot. I'm here representing Copper Basin Fire. I live in Turtletown. I'm here with Matt Green, who lives in Ducktown. We had proposed a contract with the
Absolutely.
city of...
If I may, you're on my agenda for
Okay.
discussion tonight, unless you have a public comment.
Nope.
We'll actually have an interaction. So,
Thank you.
So you're good to go. All right. So anybody else? Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. And we'll, after we get through reports, you'll be next on the agenda. So going through reports, we have Board of Aldermen. I'll start with Jake. You have anything to report this week?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Good. I'm good.
All right, very good. And I skipped announcements. Does anybody have any announcements as well? None. All right. So I'll go into announcements. Next board meeting will be Monday, March 16th. So we're back on our Monday schedule, 2026. City Court will be Wednesday, March 4th. That's at 3 p.m. Close in City Hall at noon. Excuse me, at 2 those days. They probably not going to close at noon, but 2 on those days to prepare for court. I also wanted to. Yes, I guess that is it. Did you have questions? March 4th on Wednesday. That's the first Wednesday. And moving on into my report, did you have any questions?
March the 4th for what? Our meeting?
For City Court.
For City Court.
Yeah.
What was our meeting? The 6th?
16th.
16th.
Yes.
I want to make sure.
Did I say 6?
No, I don't know.
Sorry if
I
did.
don't know.
Okay.
Greg,
Okay.
I heard you wrong.
No, we're good. I could have said 6. All right. So in the mayor's notes, my report, we have partnered with Sharp, which is Safe Haven Animal Rescue Program. We are doing a TNR project here in town, which means trap neuter release. So if you have ferals in the area, putting up traps, taking them in, tri-state spay and neuter is up in Murphy is helping us. So Sharp actually is giving us vouchers, and so that's been very helpful. So far we've gotten 6. I think I saw a Facebook post. We'll do a release soon. I just haven't had the opportunity to do that. So they put something out, I think today, announcing that we've been doing that. So there's more to go, but they take donations, and anybody that wants to make a donation to Sharp get with me and I can put you in their direction. You can look them up on Facebook, or they also have a website. So looking to do more things with them in town, and we have more cats to catch. So lots of herding these days. So if you see traps, that's what's going on. So far we got 6 of them. So more to go. Still the 250th anniversary, the semi-quincentennial grant that hopefully will be announced at the end of the month. So we'll maybe have good news there. And I'm currently working with Southeastern Development District, looking at a grant for signals downtown. So they're coming this week, and I'm going to show them downtown lighting or traffic lights, and go from there. It's a small grant. It's $150,000. It's a lot for us, but when you're looking at these type things, it's you get into money really quick. So we all know that we're in desperate need of traffic lights downtown. So staff, just want to say they've been working really hard, wearing multiple hats. We've had, I want to say, I hate to say an absolute nightmare with no billing, but residents know very well that our water and sewer bills are often not correct, and Shannon and Teresa are having to do a lot of corrections, and we feel like that these problems have been one of our issues when it comes to some of the water loss that we're seeing along the way, we are having to account for, I guess, wrong meter readings that ultimately show up in the numbers, and y'all can attest to that. We're having to write off late fees along the way, so they have not really been keeping with the contract. We do have another year under the contract. I have sent it over to council to get advice. We could potentially they could be in breach of contract, so more to come on that. However, if we decided to pull out of our contract early, we have to have something else in place. So that's where, and we would look at doing something in-house most likely, but that would be building a program and coming up with a billing system and some type of retail type deal where we can do online billing and take credit cards. But it's costing for the amount of work that we could do it in-house. If we could get us something in-house built, the amount of work that they do, we could sit down and manually figure the bills each month, and they probably it's just endless, and there's frustration on their end, there's frustration on our customers' end. Everybody's frustrated with muni billing. It's been a nightmare, and come to find out, at the end of the day, they do how many cities with water and sewer? So only 3. Only 3.
Wow.
So we apparently we're test subjects for them. So we feel like thousands of dollars that's been lost over the number of years that we have been under contract with them. And Shannon, do you know, like, monthly on average how much we send to them? Can you, because I know
Anywhere from $200 to $3,200 a month.
so it's a lot of money that we've spent. So we're looking at saving ourselves some money, saving some frustrations, and redoing this. It's just when you're under contract, but if you're paying that and still having to work like they've been working, it's, I could literally sit down and figure out 500 bills. And I don't know if you're aware how our system works, but the guys drive the route, and they have a tablet, and it reads the meters. They bring it back here, Teresa downloads it, and then uploads to Munibilling, and but they're having to go back behind Munibilling once everything is done and make sure, and they continually find errors after they've uploaded. So we can go on all night about that. So I just wanted you to know that they've had to do a lot of stuff. Shannon's been working on our audit, getting everything, and I think she's about done with that. Is that correct? So Barry, Sean, and Tanner, with the cold weather, have been doing a lot of work with frozen pipes. A lot of things have been busting. That's cost us a lot of money. The backhoe is just a constant problem where I don't know how many times we've had it fixed in the last few weeks.
And
And,
just got another quote too.
and so we are on our last legs of that. Just keep that in the back of your minds there as we move forward. But they've been working really hard with what we have, as well as trying to do projects for maintenance for the city. They're not only are they our water and sewer, they also do our city maintenance as well. So they've done a lot with limited resources. They've been working really hard. We've been having grease issues with the sewer system, the pump station. We've had to have it cleaned out a couple of times within the last month, couple of weeks, right, Shannon?
We cleaned it twice this month.
Okay, so the grease is becoming a real issue, and it's this time of year, it's more problematic because of the cold. It just solidifies. Then Josh and Jimmy, and then Johnny also, and I gave you documentation. We had a TDEC audit this last month. They've been working and trying to get all the findings that were brought to our attention. They've been working on that, and then also I had to do a letter back to TDEC, so they've been getting everything in order so I can respond to TDEC. So, and I'll go over that here in a minute. And so, with that audit, one of the things they found was we're going to have to get new. We've got 4 scrubbers at the sewer plant. We've got 4 of those. Two are okay. They need probably some minor things. One is questionable, and one is completely out of service. We got a quote, and we'll probably have to bid it out, but that we're looking at least $20,000 right there to fix that, just to get us where we need to be with that. So post-audit, we've got a lot of things we've had to spend money on just to get ourselves where we need to be. So that being said, give me just one second. So I'll keep going with this. The planning grant for Tennessee Avenue and Colonial Avenue, I mentioned that there was a sewer line replacement we were looking at. We got denied that grant, so I've got to go back to the drawing table. We really need that sewer line down Tennessee Avenue replaced. If you recall, I mentioned it's going to be like you just snake it out and put a new line through. So we're not even to the point of getting the planning piece of it in place. So we got denied that. So I've got to find funding for that going forward, as well as Colonial. Tennessee is really bad. Colonial, you can see it, so it's in pretty bad shape. Not as bad as Tennessee Avenue, but Colonial, you can see that it's sinking. So that one, something's got to be done there, and you can't do anything with that road up Colonial until you get that sewer line replaced. So if you just put pavement over it, when you're going to dig it up, and two, anything you do is just putting more weight on top of that line, which could cause issues. So there could be potential with this road project that TDOT is doing, where some of that we could get some help with some of that up through there. I don't know that they'll go the whole way though. That's a wish as much as it is a possibility.
Yeah.
So then let's see. Good news, we did get $250,000 extra funding for the Fighting Town pump station. As you recall, we did that whole modification where we didn't get enough money, and we were going to lose a grant. Then the guys doing the work scoped it differently, came in at lower prices. Then we got a little more money for it, and we did an adjustment. Now Brenna with Southeastern Development has been really good to work with. I told her we really needed that. She went to bat for us, and she came up and with TDEC and got us $250,000 for that project. So we're back up to our original scope of $1.2 million.
Okay.
So that's super helpful to us. So we've had good news with that.
And Brenda was in here that day.
Brenna, right, when CTI was here,
Yes.
that's correct.
Okay.
And if you would, whose phone that is, but probably mine. Excuse me one second. I had notes on this letter that I gave y'all from TDEC, findings that they had. I'll just go through it real quick. So they came in December and did some monitor testing as well as pulled records. We had basically three findings. One was from some discharge that had taken place in 2023. It was above the limits, and that was recorded at that time. So of course, that was 2023, but it still was part of this audit. So that was a finding. Going forward, we will continue to monitor that and try to do better with the discharge. So what I did is they had findings. I had to do a response. So we exceeded the effluent. So we will continue compliance monitoring based on recommendations from TDEC, and we do it 3 times daily to make sure we're within limits. So hopefully no more problems there. We also had a quality control and assurance finding. Basically, we were using an old process on QC, and so there's some training that Josh needs to get, and he's going to do that. He signed up with the Fleming Training Center per their recommendations, and it's going to do that on April 1st. So that was just more of a training issue. Also, the other, the monthly operating reports, they could not find those immediately. They'd asked for those, so our guys couldn't put their hands on it. They sent them to them, but that was one of the findings. So basically, we said we'll make sure that we have a system where they know exactly where they are at all times, as well as when they do them, they're sending them to Teresa, and we're uploading them into our online system. So we'll have a digital copy as well as their physical copy over there. So that was it. Other than them, there were things at the plant that need to be fixed, and at the end of the day, I was happy with that. Although there were violations, there were no fines. Do y'all have any questions for me related to that?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, yeah, okay. Next on the agenda, we have a board discussion, and Copper Basin Fire and Rescue is here tonight. And if y'all would, we have Matt Green, and then
Eve Wilmot.
Eve Wilmot. Thank you so much for coming. So if y'all want to start out and we'll just have an interactive discussion.
Just to give you an introduction, Copper Basin Fire, as you may know, is a fully volunteer organization. So none of our firefighters get paid, so it's strictly volunteer. The city of Copperhill, because it's incorporated, technically it doesn't fall under Polk County's fire services. As a result, if you don't have a service contract for fire services, you're covered under mutual aid. Now, the response is going to be the same as if you had a contract. However, when your businesses and residents are rated for insurance, your insurance is going to be higher because you're not covered by a specific agreement. What the difference is between a rating of a 10, which is the highest, it's going to be the most for your insurance, and what you'd be under as a 6, there's probably a difference of a 30% premium increase, which is meaningful for businesses. I know that we don't have a lot of businesses in Copperhill, but I believe that this area is growing. And I think that insurance rates for households may not be as perceptible because people don't understand that their insurance might be lower if the town was covered by an insurance, by a fire services agreement. We had offered one to Copperhill under one of the prior administrations, and we had no action as of yet. Ducktown has a fire services agreement in place. They've paid for a number of years. Currently, their rate is $6,000 per year, and that's been in place for at least 10 years, so we've seen no increase. The cost of the department, right now we're supported with a budget from Polk County for our operations in the amount of about $97,000. About $40,000 is what I'd call fixed overhead costs. That includes building costs, insurance, which is $15,000 right there. So it's 15% of our budget is going for insurance. The fuel costs to run the vehicles, utilities for the community center. So of that $97,000, we probably have about $55,000, which goes to supporting maintenance of the equipment and the vehicles. The newest vehicle that we own, we were able to receive 2 new fire engines from Polk County about a year and a half ago. The newest engines we own are 1995s, so they're 30 years old. We currently have 8 engines in operation and 5 stations which are serving the area. And I think that most people would say that in the period that Copper Basin Fire took over fire services, there's been a revitalization and response of the fire department in the area. We've done a lot of volunteer hours to clean up the stations, to make them more appealing to the residents so that they can visibly see that there's something going on with the fire department. So what we're looking for is to create an agreement with Copperhill, a formal fire services agreement, which I forwarded to Donna and the mayor, of $6,000 per year, which matches what Ducktown is. Ducktown and Copperhill have approximately the same population and approximately the same number of calls during the year. So it's an equitable agreement. Given that Ducktown has continued to support us for $6,000 for a period of years, when we presented the contract to Copperhill a couple of years ago, we actually started it at $10,000, and each year for a 4-year contract it went 10, 11, 12, 14, to recognize that there are inflationary costs. An example of some of the costs that we have to invest in the fire department is tires for an engine could be $3,000 a piece. And they're only good, they're rated for a certain number of years. We look for money in other areas. We had a very successful fundraising year in 2025. We raised $43,000 in gross revenue, against which we probably had about $33,000 in costs. That's event revenue, a golf tournament. So we increased our net bottom line by about $11,000. That's excluding what Polk County does to support us. The money that we raise goes to supplement repairs. We've used it for new signage on the building. We've used it for building paint, building cleanup. So we're not spending the money on things that wouldn't be appropriate for the fire department. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Does anybody have any questions?
With Ducktown, I'm curious, is it, you mentioned, and I'm just curious because you mentioned the numbers 10 versus 6 in terms of the fire rating. Is that what happened, I guess, for Ducktown? Did that rating decrease to that level?
No, they've been paying $6,000 forever.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The fire rating is what I was saying.
Oh, the 10 to the 6?
Yes.
Well, there's a number of factors that go into an ISO rating. One of them is, does it have a station? Is the station located within a response time for whatever buildings you have to respond to? Does it have an engine? The engine has to have certain pump capabilities. And that has been a problem with maintenance in terms of not only does an engine have to spray water, but given that we have very few hydrants in the area, it has to be able to pull water out of say the lake. So you need to back up and draft water out of the lake because there's not going to be any hydrants in the area when you have a fire. So those are some of the challenges. In order to meet that ISO 6, which is what Ducktown has, because we are covered by, we have 5 stations in operation, we have 8 engines. So, and we do expect to have another ISO audit within the next 2 years.
What rating does Copperhill have at the moment? Are you aware? Are we at a 10?
You're at a 10.
We're at a 10, okay.
Only because you do not have a formal contract in place.
Okay. And so...
But I wonder though, because the last time the audit was done, they probably fell under the 6 because...
They believed you had a fire station.
Yeah, so probably the rates that are set now are at a 6, but it would change, if they done a new audit. That's what I think. I don't have anything to back that up, but...
Yeah, we may not be privy to your actual ISO rating.
Okay.
But I believe that when it was done 3 years ago, they believed you had a fire station, which you used to have one.
Right. It was right there.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, the county one is in City of Copperhill but at the place, that is technically City of Copperhill there.
Station 3?
It is, yes.
Yes. But
Anything this side of Grassy Creek Road. So my question is, we pay, I guess the fact that the county has a contract with you doesn't help us at all, is what I'm hearing.
I'm not real familiar with the way they do it, but that's the way I understand it, because each municipality they look at gets their own rating. And I don't know, Greg may know more about it than I do.
Because you are incorporated, contractually you're excluded from Polk County's fire services agreement, just as Ducktown is excluded because they are incorporated.
Yeah, that's why I think.
Is that true of Benton as well? Because is Benton incorporated?
Yes. Yeah.
So it would be the same thing. And does Benton have a contract?
We do not serve Benton.
You don't serve Benton just this side?
Right.
Okay.
That would be West Palm.
That'd be West Palm does that, okay.
With funding, I know I was at a meeting with the industrial board, and I don't think either of you were there, but we brought up grants, and there was some grant funding available. We offered, I think assistance was offered to Copper Basin if they needed guidance on the grant. I know West Polk had also offered some help. Did y'all apply for a grant last year?
We did.
You did?
And we
What
did
was the
successfully receive it.
You did? Okay.
But it's specific for SCBA tanks, which are the air tanks.
Okay, cool.
And all of our tanks are now at expiration. They last 15 years.
Okay.
They've all been expired. We asked for enough money for 60 tanks. We received enough money for 48 tanks,
Okay.
which
That's
is
good.
8 vehicles.
Which
6
helps
tanks.
a lot, big deal.
Great. And I saw another one. Are you all going to apply for this next one that I saw something come across my email the other day? There's another one available. Have you seen that as well?
I know there was one for rescue operations,
Okay.
which we don't qualify for because that's really for an emergency EMT rescue vehicle,
I see.
and we don't provide medical.
Okay.
But we do have a grant team. but we're somewhat immature in terms of addressing that. Both Chief and I attended a grant workshop and we received a lot of materials, so it's something that we're in the middle of starting to engage.
Okay. What, Matt, what could, if we could find the money, I mean, you've probably heard my woes of dollars. If we can find the money and can come to an agreement of some sort, what particularly would y'all be looking at doing for, like, what extra would we get with giving you guys extra money?
And I believe it would probably most of it be spent on equipment. Like, for example, we just got the tanks, which is a big relief because they were all expired, but now we have to start worrying about the air packs that the tank goes on. You know, those expire, and I believe they've got a 15-year life. But we also have to have those certified. It seems like everything in the fire service is like that. The turnout gear, you know, it expires. It's only good for 10 years. So, you know, we've always got a list of what's coming up and what do we need. And, you know, we could, you know, it wouldn't matter if, you know, $1 million suddenly showed up. We still probably couldn't get everything that we need, but we just keep a prioritized list going of the next thing. We've got real good partnerships, like with Fannin County, for example. They donated some of their extra gear that they had that, you know, kind of pushed us a little further out on the gear needing replaced. And, you know, there's stuff like that happens, you know, periodically, which then we would automatically shift, okay, we've got the gear handled for 2 more years, let's go look at the air packs, or, you know, maybe it's a vehicle issues, or, you know, a big thing is rescue tools. We've got one set of electronic rescue tool. It's actually a combination tool, so it's only really one tool. And we actually do keep that one at Station 3 because that's the newest engine we have, so we keep that there. But then in the other stations, we might have a 30-year-old set of hydraulic tools, but, you know, will they work when you need them? Maybe, maybe not. We test them. We make sure that they're working every month, but, you know, we always want to make sure that the best of what we have is available when we need it. So, you know, that one combi tool is basically for the whole east side of the county. So we make sure that truck gets to every car accident. So I think it was yesterday we had a car roll over on Airport Road and a lady was trapped in it. So, you know, that's our first thought is we got to get that engine to that wreck and hope something doesn't happen in the meantime. We also got pretty good mutual aid agreements with Cherokee County. So we actually have automatic aid agreements with them. So anytime we have a fire, any kind of major event, they're automatically dispatched to help us out. And we do them as well. So,
In all honesty, the service level that you're receiving would not change because we provide you with the service.
Right.
The difference is going to be in your insurance ratings and how, one of the examples that we talked about in our own board meeting is Amazon would never come to Copperhill because they'd only go to a place that has an ISO rating of 1 because of the difference for an Amazon facility for what it costs for insurance. So just like you're fighting the battle of fixing the water leaks that you've had issues for a long time, I think the whole county is dealing with the fact that it's been a real tough economic road for this county to have. And so reinvestment, the fact that we have a bunch of volunteers responding, how does that make a difference? If I cannot, and we cannot, gear out a volunteer that wants to join our department, you need a set of fire gear, $3,500 per person. Right now, our guys are being trained in Fannin for free. Fannin is giving them a full set of bunker gear for free. So we're really riding on the coattails whenever possible to supplement that. But It's about effectiveness. It's about long-term health of the fire department and our community. So it's really about long-term health. The insurance costs, we can all, just like you can say, I'm not going to pay for maintenance in this building today because I need a short-term impact. I need to cut my budget dollars. That's it. We're going to cut out maintenance. Well, next year your boiler breaks down. We have the same impact in the fire department. Is the fact that it's been starved for so long for some of those dollars. We're trying to be very creative with how we're addressing it, and it's going to be a long time that we're going to get through this.
We get it.
Yeah.
We completely get it. And we are fighting for every dollar we can get here. So we want to make sure if you know, and right now we have no money for you, $0 right now, but budget time is coming up, and you know.
It's great just to be heard.
Sure.
It's great, and it's great to be a participate, because if you don't know what we're going through and we don't know what you're going through, we can't meet those challenges together.
Sure. But, you know, it's definitely, you know, I do appreciate everything you guys do. I know you've had to respond twice within the last couple of months to really big problems here. So, you know, that.
Some of the costs that we have, they're immediate. For example, 2 weeks ago we had a fire, and one of our firemen, his helmet burned, and luckily he was wearing a brand new European-style helmet that had flaps that covered his ears. If he had not worn those, his head would have been burned. The entire helmet was engulfed. Now, we have no replacement. We have no spare helmets. They're $350 a piece. I need to get the fireman a helmet, obviously. And that may not necessarily be something that I can immediately put a purchase order into Polk County for, like, oh, I need a helmet. So those are some of they're immediate things that impact the firemen.
Speaking, I didn't see their number like that on the income statement. I didn't see, because you said $97,000 they give you a year.
It does not show. It does not show. It, on page 2, you see the impact of the Polk County budget. We're a calendar year basis. They're a fiscal year, so some of the numbers aren't necessarily in sync.
Okay.
So we do report the Polk County on page 2, so you can see the impact of the support.
Keith can vouch for it that they give us money.
I guess the difference in your fiscal year versus ours in counties. Okay, very good. Board-wise, do y'all have any questions for them? I know we've spent a lot of time on this, but I wanted them to come and chat with us.
Yeah, Eve had asked me to come and just in case you got any technical questions about our trucks or where they're at, what, you know. So, like you said, Station 3 there on Grassy Creek is the closest station to Copperhill. Luckily, it is our biggest station, really. So we keep our primary engine there, and we also have our one tanker. That's where we keep it as well. So.
And I didn't say it in my report, but no burning in Copperhill. It's illegal. So I say that every month.
So y'all don't allow any open burning in
No,
Copperhill?
zero. None.
Good to know.
Does it happen?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yes. We issue citations for it. So
So do y'all have like a compliance person? Who is that?
Barry Crump.
Okay.
So I've been doing this history project with this QR code deal, and just in the research I've been going through, it's amazing the number of fires that we have had in the city of Copperhill. I mean, it takes out. It's usually not small. You guys have helped contain a lot of stuff. So back in the old days, it'd take out 2 or 3 buildings downtown. So, all right. Any more questions from the board? Thank you all.
Thank you very
much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Moving along, we've got old business, and we have ordinance, second reading on the Twin Cities Market. Do I have a motion to consider?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Jake, a second by Donna. All right, so I will go ahead and let y'all suffer through my reading on this one again. So, this is ordinance number 2026-01-0000, an ordinance of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee, authorizing seasonal participation with the City of McKaysville, Georgia, in the Twin Cities market, updating and replacing ordinance number 5-19-25-00, providing for vendor participation, fee structure, and exemptions from transient vendor fees, and providing for an effective date. Whereas the City of Copperhill previously participated in a seasonal market during the 2025 season pursuant to ordinance number 5-19-25-00, which referenced the Twin Cities Farmers Market and established a participation fee applicable only to the 2025 season. And whereas the market continues to operate on a seasonal basis under the name Twin Cities Market in partnership with the City of McKaysville, Georgia, and whereas the City of Copperhill desires to update and replace the prior ordinance to reflect the current market name, seasonal nature, and participation framework without limiting the authorization to a single calendar year. And whereas it is believed that the Twin Cities Market has created additional foot traffic in downtown Copperhill, resulting in increased business activity for local merchants that would not have been generated in its absence. And whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen finds the seasonal participation in the Twin Cities Market serves a public interest by supporting local farmers, artisans, creators, tourism, and economic development. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee as follows. Section 1, City of Copperhill is hereby authorized to partner with the City of McKaysville, Georgia, in participating in the seasonal operation of the Twin Cities Market, subject to the market rules, guidelines, and operational policies established for each market season. Section 2, this ordinance is intended to update, clarify, and replace ordinance number 5-19-25-00 in its entirety. Any references therein to the Twin Cities Farmers Market, the 2025 season, or other provisions inconsistent with this ordinance are hereby repealed and superseded. Section 3, each participating vendor is individually responsible for complying with all applicable federal, state, and local laws. Responsibility includes but not limited to registering with and remitting all applicable taxes to the Tennessee Department of Revenue, complying with all rules, regulations, and guidelines established by Tennessee Department of Agriculture governing the sale of food, produce, or other related goods, and obtaining and maintaining any required licenses, permits, certifications, or inspections applicable to the vendor's goods or services. The City of Copperhill assumes no responsibility for ensuring or enforcing the legal compliance of individual vendors. Section 4, participation in the Twin Cities Market shall be limited to vendors who meet the criteria established by the market for the applicable season, including individuals or entities who farm, produce, craft, or otherwise create the goods offered for sale, and who comply with all market rules and regulations. Section 5, vendors participating in the Twin Cities Market who comply with all market rules and who farm, produce, or create the goods offered for sale shall be exempt from any otherwise applicable transient vendor, peddler, or similar permit fees imposed by the City of Copperhill for the duration of each market season in which they participate. All other fees shall remain applicable. Section 6, businesses physically located within the City of Copperhill may participate in the Twin Cities Market at no cost, provided they meet vendor eligibility requirements and comply with all market rules and regulations. Section 7, for vendors not otherwise exempt under the ordinance, the fee to participate in the Twin Cities Market shall be $50 per market season, unless modified by future action of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Fees collected are to be used for market promotion. All right. Do we have any discussion? Good. So let's clarify, that's a $50 fee. If somebody is a crafter in town that has a business, they can participate for free. If you are a middleman or middlewoman, that's not, you've got to create your items. So you can't just take t-shirts down there and sell them. You've got to do something with those. All right. If no discussion, roll call.
Mayor Barker,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Reese,
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Tanner. Yes. Alderman Thompson.
Yes.
All right, that one passes. And we will, looking forward to the market season. Begins first week, or the last weekend of May. No, it's Memorial Day weekend. I think that's the second to last weekend. So, Memorial Day weekend. All right, next we have new business. This is a resolution for Copperhill Cleanup Week for 2026. Do I have a motion to consider?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Donna, a second by Jake. This is resolution number 2026-02-0002. Resolution of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee, designating April 27, 2026 through May 1, 2026 as Copperhill Cleanup Week. Whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill seeks to promote community pride, cleanliness, and environmental stewardship through the city, including residential neighborhoods and downtown business district. Whereas Copperhill Cleanup Week provides an opportunity for residents and business owners to participate in cleanup efforts, including litter pickup of public spaces bordering their properties and utilize limited brush pickup services offered by the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee, that April 27, 2026 through May 1, 2026 is hereby designated as Copperhill Cleanup Week. Section 2, residents and business owners are encouraged to clean and maintain their properties as well as litter removal from public spaces bordering their properties during the designated week. Section 3, the city shall offer free brush pickup from residential yards during Copperhill Cleanup Week, provided the amount of brush is reasonable and not excessive as determined by the city. All right, so any discussion on Copperhill Cleanup Week? I think it went well last year. Some people did take us up on the offer of brush pickup, and I know sometimes it's hard to get that done during that week, but we worked with some folks, they had it ready to go, so we, as long as it's not big trees, I think it was a good thing. I know Discover Copper Basin is doing a cleanup day on May 1st, so that'll be that Friday. So they helped last year, and we had some of the folks in this room come help last year, so it was very much appreciated. And if there's other churches, or we may try to expand out this year and see if we can get more folks to participate. So no more discussion. Roll call.
Mayor Barker?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bruce?
Yes.
Alderman Martin?
Yes.
Alderman Tanner?
Yes.
Alderman Thomas?
Yes.
Resolution passes, and we will all celebrate during cleanup week. So, next on new business is resolution, and this is affirmation of enforcement of the sign ordinance that we have in place. Do I have a motion to consider?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Jake and a second by Jeff. And I'll read through this one. This is resolution number 2026-02-0003. It's a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee, affirming the continued effectiveness of the sign regulations contained in the city's zoning ordinance, directing review of said regulations and providing for administrative enforcement. Whereas the City of Copperhill has adopted a zoning ordinance pursuant to the authority granted under Tennessee Code Annotated Title 13, Chapter 7. And whereas the zoning ordinance includes regulations governing the placement, construction, alteration, and installation of signs within the city. And whereas the zoning ordinance includes its sign provisions, remains duly adopted and in full force and effect. And whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen finds it to be in the best interest of the city to ensure the consistent and uniform administration of its zoning regulations, and whereas the board further finds it appropriate to undertake a review of the sign provisions of the zoning ordinance to ensure clarity, administrative efficiency, and compliance with applicable state and federal law. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee, Section 1, sign regulations contained within the city's zoning ordinance remain validly adopted and in full force and effect unless and until amended in accordance with Tennessee zoning law. Section 2, the board directs that the sign provisions of the zoning ordinance be reviewed and, if appropriate, recommend for amendment through the proper zoning amendment process, including planning commission review. Public hearing is required by law. Nothing herein shall be construed as an amendment to the zoning ordinance. Section 3, effective as of March 1, 2026, all new signs erected, installed, structurally altered, relocated, or replaced within the City of Copperhill shall comply with the applicable provisions of the zoning ordinance, including any required permits and approvals. Section 4, city staff are directed to administer and enforce the sign regulations in a consistent and uniform manner. Any person aggrieved by an administrative decision relating to the sign regulations shall have the right to appeal to the Board of Zoning Appeals as provided in the zoning ordinance and Tennessee law. All right, what discussion do we have on this one? I'll start. So basically, this is a resolution to call it to everybody's attention. We have this ordinance in place already. So I put this in as a resolution to flag it, say, hey, as of March 1, we have an ordinance in place and we're gonna follow this as of March 1. So we're not trying to undo anything that anybody has done within a period of time. However, we want to tighten this up and get everything within regulation. I've provided you with the current ordinance that we have. We are in process of working with MTAS and codifying and updating what's out there. If you go online, you can see our ordinances. That's in process of being updated. However, planning and zoning is separate from that, so that's going to be a whole new project that's being worked on. So, but until then, we already got this in place, and we want to make sure that folks are following what we have in place. I'm seeing a lot of things go up in the region, a lot of these spectacular signs that have all this flashing and they're putting all this messaging out there. That is not allowed in downtown Copperhill, and I want to make sure that nobody does that. What you're putting in your windows is regulated. The sign size, for instance, it's contingent on the frontage that you have. If you have 75 feet, your sign cannot be more than 150 square feet. So a 10 by 15 sign, if you have 75 linear feet on basically facing the road. So that's in C1. C2, as you get out toward fireworks, that's a little different. That you can do more things in C2 than you can in C1. But downtown, it's been my goal that we get downtown looking as the best we can absolutely get it to look, and that's my goal here, is to get Copperhill looking, get cleaned up and looking good. Questions?
How do the people find out when they come here, if they put a business up, what size sign are they coming to the office and asking?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So
So I just wanted to know if it was out there, and it's on, I'm sure, our website.
I don't know that the zoning stuff is not out there.
That will be on later when we get it back, when we get with them.
Yeah, get the new,
We want to make sure that when we put it on there,
yeah,
that it's updated and we're not going back. Because things we're updating on there,
right.
and we just want to make sure that people, they don't get two different.
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I get that. I just wondered how people are getting to work.
Well, that's why I did this resolution.
Right.
This is to say, hey, we got an ordinance here. We're going to
Okay.
follow it, and as of March 1st, we're going to do that. I've been working on an application because there's not been an application that's so.
Well, when they file for a business in Copperhill, they need to, that's just part of due diligence anyway. They need to figure out what they can and can't do. So if they don't ask me, we'll start putting signs up. They
And they'll
can
just be
take it
signs.
down and say, you should ask. I mean, but we don't want to be like that. They just try to say, hey, we won't be enforcing these sign ordinances now.
Right.
Since y'all want to make sure you don't have any setbacks.
So those who already have signage and stuff, are we gonna be sending them something out stating that this is going into effect and
It's
Would it go 30
your
days?
no. If we're not unwinding anything anybody's done.
okay,
So that's not the intent here.
okay,
Would I love you to get in compliance? Yes.
okay.
However, we don't, because there are some that are absolutely no way under the sun that they're in compliance.
Right,
But going forward, when that starts looking rough and you take that down, you're not going to be able to replace that. You're going to,
Okay.
and again, so we're not wanting to cost anybody money. However, it's evident to me that a lot of folks don't see that they're just they're way out of compliance. They you know, and I don't want, it's, everybody's style is different. But this has already been put into ordinances here, and we just want to follow it. So we're not gonna have anybody unwind things that they've done.
So basically, everybody's grandfathered at what they've got now till 3/1, and anything new coming in after
That's
3/1,
correct.
they've got.
That's right.
And
That's right.
but if somebody had a wooden sign that was out of compliance, like you said,
Leave it
and
paper.
fell apart, yeah, or whatever, so and it falls apart, they can't replace it back like they had it
They
because
need
it
to
was out of
come, they need to
compliance to
come,
start.
right, they need, in one, this is a safety issue too.
Right.
If you noticed in here, you know, the building inspectors who, because there are specifications to putting something up on the side of the building. You know, if you just, if I went down there and installed it on, you know, I'm putting these screws in, you know, I'm not gonna be up to code.
Right.
So there's code as far as how you attach that to that building. You know, it's a lot of wind here, a lot of rain, it could fall, so.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Never mind.
You can say, or do we want to?
Well, I guess I'm thinking a particular place,
Right,
and all the windows pretty much have covered up with,
correct. And those are temporary, so, and the temporary signs are even covered in here. I mean, our folks in 1993 were very forward-thinking with what they put in place.
Okay.
They you know, they really had everything down for us.
right,
So we, you know, there's some things we need to update that, you know, and rather than doing a moratorium,
right.
I first sat down, I didn't want to do a moratorium on signs because I don't want to stop people from putting up their signs. I just want them to be in compliance with what we have. And we may look at this and say, you know what, this doesn't work for us now. People can do larger signs, or, you know, I just, you know, what I'm trying to, I'll just be honest, I don't want to see any more of those flashing signs and these TVs on the side of the road. They are just not what we need downtown.
Some of them just too bright.
It's too bright. It hurt.
You
Yeah.
can't set another business somewhere. I've seen, it's just like, wow.
It's just clutter anyway. You pay it no mind. I mean, you know, and so that's why we just want to get it under control. So,
Okay.
but that's
And how long has this one been in place?
1993.
93.
Yes.
Open the books, all you had to do, everything else we've had to go through, just open the book.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
any other discussion? Awesome. Roll call.
Mayor Barker,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Reese,
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Tanner,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas.
Yes.
And our resolution passes. We will get to work. All right. Next on new business is a resolution authoring for the authorization of CTI as a consultant to State Route 68 utility project. Do I get a motion to consider?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Donna, a second by Jake. This is resolution number 2026-02-0004. It's a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee, authorizing the engagement of CTI Engineers, Inc. for engineering services related to the TDOT State Route 68 project. Whereas Tennessee Department of Transportation is undertaking improvements for State Route 68 which require relocation of the city's water and sewer utilities, and whereas TDOT requires that any consultant engineering services be approved in advance in order for such services to qualify for reimbursement, and whereas a deadline for submission of required documentation to qualify for Chapter 86 reimbursement is March 23rd, 2026, and whereas the city is currently utilizing CTI Engineers, Inc. for the Fightingtown Creek Lift Station project and desires continuity of engineering services, and whereas the board finds it to be in the best interest of the city to retain CTI Engineers, Inc. to prepare plans, complete required TDOT documentation, and coordinate utility relocation services. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Copperhill, Tennessee, Section 1, City hereby authorizes the engagement of CTI Engineers, Inc. to provide engineering services for State Route 68 utility relocation project. Section 2, all services shall be performed in compliance with TDOT requirements to ensure eligibility for Chapter 86 reimbursement. and no work shall commence prior to receiving required TDOT authorization. Section 3, the mayor is authorized to execute a professional services agreement and any documents necessary to comply with TDOT requirements and secure eligible reimbursement. All right. So, this is related to the bridge project, the bypass. Ultimately, at the end of town, where they're bringing the bridge over and doing the loop down into the roundabout and the Ferris wheel or whatever we're just down there, we've got to move the water and sewer lines. Okay, those have to be moved. And we were given very little time to come up. We basically, there's a packet. I provided you guys with emails, right? Okay, I provided you with that. Yeah, here it is. This email. This is part of the emails that we have been going back and forth with TDOT, and then they have a firm that we've been talking to, and basically we got on a call. There's a whole process we have to go through in order to not have to pay for any of this, and we have a very small window. TDOT is not very nice to work with, are they,
No.
Shannon? I told them our situation, because this comes out of water and sewer budget. I told them we are fighting for every dollar that we get in water and sewer, and we don't have the money to put out, because this is basically what they're doing here is, if we can get the CTI, if we vote to go with CTI, if we can get them approved, they have to submit all these plans. CDOT has to approve them. And at the end of the day, we still have to pay CTI this money. And then TDOT reimburses us. And this is where we got crossways with TDOT. I was like, I don't have money to do a lot of projects that we're already doing and required to do, and then make day-to-day budget, let alone come up with extra funds for engineering. And then that's when TDOT engineer reminded us that we get to use their right-of-way for free for our water and sewer lines. So conversation went really south at that point, and we got back on track after I told them that they needed to get into reality here. And ultimately, they did tell us that we can do incremental reimbursements. So if we pay CTI $10,000 this month, then we submit that and they will reimburse us this month. So we don't have to wait to the end of the project, which is a plus. The total is 2.5 million for each project. So sewer is 2.5 million, water is 2.5 million. So we can get up to 5 million that they would cover. They don't anticipate that it will, but anything over that we have to pay for. So we did not engage. So basically, a resolution was done prior to our coming on board, and this project was accepted. However, you get strong-armed into these projects, so we basically have no choices in a lot of these matters. But this is where we are, and I just wanted to bring it to y'all's attention, some of the things that's happening on the backside, and these conversations we've been having with TDOT. It's really, I feel bullied some days. I don't know, Shannon, you probably feel as much as I do, because you're probably dealing with it more than I am at times. So I think CTI is the best group. They gave us three names. There had also been an engineer that Todd had worked with, but I felt like I recommended CTI because they're already doing the sewer and water, or excuse me, the sewer lift station project. They have our basically our mapping already for this, so they kind of already, and they are also aware of what's going on Colonial. So they basically are just the engineering piece of it. TDOT is got other folks that's going to replace everything. So What questions do you have? I've talked a lot on
You
this.
just answer who's going to replace it,
Yeah,
so we don't have to bring it on, if they're, just gotta pay
correct.
them.
Correct. I just, McKaysville has gotten stuck with some deals, and I'm just trying to avoid us getting stuck with anything. But if we don't, we're under this gun with these, they gotta submit these rainbow plans and all this big packet, and if we don't get all this done, we'll lose our ability to be reimbursed.
Is that by the 23rd of this month? I mean, March?
Of March. So initially they told us February,
Oh.
and I lied. So, but there's a 45 day. We can get a 45-day extension as well.
Okay.
We've got to request that extension. But these are things that you just get thrown at you, and we'd really prefer those monies to go replacing our clay pipes that we have that break all the time. But this is what they're doing, so this is what we have to do. Any other questions? Ms. Bond? No. If no, I'll do a roll call.
Mayor Barker?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Reese?
Yes.
Alderman Martin?
Yes.
Alderman Tanner?
Yes.
Alderman Thomas?
Yes.
And that passes. Do I get a motion to adjourn?
Yes. Second first.
So,
I'll second.
motion by Tamara, second by Jeff. Roll call.
Mayor Barker?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Reese?
Yes.
Alderman Martin?
Yes.
Alderman Tanner?
Yes.
Alderman Thomas?
Yes.
And we adjourn.
No question.
Everyone ready to run, it sounds
You
like.
said,
I'm cold.
that time of year.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. We couldn't
I'd like
afford
a
it this month.
resolution to get the heat is,
I'm cold too, so.
I forgot to come turn the heat on.
Got to get some
Oh,
insulation.
working on
On it, and then I had to.
Got that